going to call to order the Royal Oak Downtown Development Authority meeting for Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. At this time, I'm going to have a roll call vote.
Mike, before you start that, if anybody's not in Royal Oak, they need to say what county and city they are in. I believe that came from the attorney's office. So if you're not in Oakland County and Royal Oak, when you do the roll call, please let us know where you're at.
Okay. Understood? Okay. Director Krieger.
Here.
Director Baglio.
Here.
Director Riley.
Here, Collier County, Florida.
Director Brake.
Present.
Director Yesbeck.
I think he jumped out again too. I think
Okay.
audio issues.
Do we have Director London?
Doesn't look like it yet.
Okay. And Director Rosbeck?
Present.
And I am present. Okay. So we have two members who are working on technical issues. I'll move on to item number 3, public comment. Carol, do we have any public comment for today?
We do, and I will play that for you. Just let me, I think this is Tony I'm admitting now, so.
Okay, please note Director London is with us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yay.
Can you hear me?
Director Yesbeck?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you all set, Director Yesbeck?
Yeah, I had trouble with I had trouble the other day with the CMC. Something's wrong with my phone. So
Okay.
I just called in.
All righty. Carol, anytime you're ready, I guess you could play that.
This is Jay Dunstan, 111 East Parent, ex-DDA member. I was part of the group that originally brought Skroove into the fold in Royal Oak, and I hear through the grapevine that they're talking about not renewing their contract. I think it would be a mistake. I think many businesses have benefited by the work they've done, and many businesses have videos they can now post on their Facebook pages, and they're videos that they would not be able to afford otherwise. I know a lot of them are watching this intently to see what happens today. But I mean, I would have to say that these guys have brought a lot of value. I do love the fact that they post these with their brand on it, because it helps expose us to a whole other group of people. I think that what they're asking for, the additional monthly cost, is very nominal. I also tend to think that changing and going to, for understand, you're talking about going to, for project based. I think that's a big mistake if you're trying to establish a brand. And I think, these videos that have established a brand, I think if you're not happy with the demographics, then I think you need to step up and let these guys know and give them direction and say, hey, we want to see this kind of demographic or this kind of business shown. And I don't think there'd be a problem with that. But I'm in support of keeping these guys, and I think it's important, especially now. We should have them out there. They should be filming how to go, how to park, how to attend these retail stores during the holidays, how to pick up carryouts from the restaurants. We should be posting all kinds of stuff like that. And I like the fact that these guys also, on a dime, came up with a idea to help deal with this latest order from the governor. So I think you really ought to consider this, even if you just look at it for a few months to see how it goes. But I would think if I was sitting up there, I'd be pushing to have these guys continue. So hopefully you guys will make the right decision. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Did that caller identify who he was?
It was Jay Dunstan.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Are there any other, Carol?
No, that concludes the public comment today.
Okay. Tim, do you have any written comments from anybody?
No,
Okay, you have not received any.
no.
Okay. That being said, I'll close public comment right now. Move on to item number 4, the informational meeting. Tim, you want to direct us on this? You're muted, Tim.
I undid it and thought I left it on. No, the new recodified TIF Act requires the DDA to have 2 informational meetings a year. It doesn't really require that there's anything specifically done during those meetings other than we've given notice to the various taxing jurisdictions. And we've also last year and this year have provided the DDA's goals and objectives as they were approved in the calendar year. Those are attached. I don't have anything else to present on this. What I would say is we did not get any comments from any of the other taxing jurisdictions. And the December meeting will hold an informational meeting where we'll give an update on the projects. Several of them should be concluding at that point, as well as kind of a status report on budgets. So that's all I really have to say on the informational meeting.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'm going to close the informational meeting and move on to item number 5 and resume the regular meeting. Item number 6, approval of the meeting minutes from October 14th and October 28th, 2020.
Move to approve.
Director Riley?
Move to approve.
Motion
I
to
second.
approve. Second by Director London. Any questions or additions to those minutes? Seeing none, I'm going to call for the vote. Director Riley?
Yes.
Director Brake?
Yes.
Director Yazbek? Director Yazbek, you're on mute.
Yes.
Thank you. Director Rosbeck?
Yes.
Director Krieger?
Yes.
And Director London?
Yes.
Director Baglio?
Yes.
Thank you very much. The motion passes. Item number 7 is expense items. Monthly expenses. You've received some information. I see one hand up for a question. Director Riley.
Yeah, real quick, Tim, on I noticed there's 3 or 4 in there for retrofit materials, streetlights. Those are I'm assuming those are the lamp posts and that, is that correct?
Yeah, it could be globes, it could be the lamp post and globes, but it's all the materials, and we're paying them as the firm ships them. So
Okay.
see several of them.
That was my question, because I think we budgeted 1.1 million, so it looks like that's close to 500 there. So that's probably halfway through the project. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think they're getting pretty close. In the other part of the contract, you might see Harlan Electric. No, that's maybe next month. Harlan Electric would be submitting bills to actually do the installation.
Okay.
The retrofit materials are just the firm doing the production and shipping.
Okay. And on the subject of lights, George Gomez wanted me to pass along to everybody a big thank you for everybody for the lights on 4th Street and for everything that we've done out there. So George gave us an attaboy.
Okay, very good. Any other questions regarding the expense items? Seeing none. Okay, I will move on. Item number 8. I think I've been informed, Director Yazbek, did you have some comments you wanted?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. Item 8 is,
My understanding is, Director Yazbek, you won't be participating in this conversation. Is that correct?
Oh, correct.
It's your building, Tony.
Yes. I caught on.
Okay, I just wanted to double check and make sure, so you will not be participating in this discussion.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, facade grant, Sean, you want to take us through this one?
Yes, again, Mr. Chair. Let me just pull it up here. At the August 26th, 2020 DDA meeting, the board had approved a facade grant application for 215 West 5th Street. That application included work on the awning of the building, and then a new coat of paint on the building as well. The final amount of the value of the work was $9,350, which qualified for a 50% reimbursement of $4,675. The application was approved by the DDA at the August 26th meeting. The applicant has successfully completed the work and turned in all receipts that verified the amount of $4,675. So essentially,
Okay.
before the committee is basically just to review those materials and to basically approve the disbursement of the grant funds to the applicant.
Okay. Director Baglio.
Motion to approve the disbursement of the funds.
Second it.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Director Baglio, second by Director London first. Any discussion regarding this item? Seeing none, I'm going to call for a roll call vote, please. Director Baglio,
Yes.
Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Yezbik. Oh, I'm sorry. Director Yezbik has recused himself. Director Rossback,
Yes.
Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. The motion passes. Okay. Moving along here. Item number 9. Approve agreement and award contracts 217 South Knowles. Tim, I think this is you, isn't it?
Yes, yep, I'll walk through it. The board may recall that the DDA has been discussing a project where you would be building a parking lot and associated improvements at the property at 217 Knowles. The purpose of that was to free up what are existing parking spaces in and around the courthouse that are currently restricted and signed for the office that occupies 217 Knowles when they were moved there. The DDA did budget $250,000 in your fiscal year 2021 development fund for this project. The DDA's infrastructure committee has reviewed it, the plans for it. Those plans have also been submitted to the Planning Commission as well as the City Commission and received approvals of those plans, site plans and engineered plans. And they should be included in your packet, that design. Upon those approvals, the city's engineering department sent it out for bid. We received 9 bids back. Those bids ranged between $224,000 and $411,000 roughly. After engineering did some review and background checks on the firms that submitted, it was the engineering division's recommendation that Great Lakes Contracting Solutions out of Waterford was the lowest qualified bidder. Their bid was $253,232.70. From a budgeting standpoint, we generally include a contingency, and I'm suggesting, and along with engineering, include a contingency of $60,000. So that'd be a total of $310,000 in terms of allocating the budget. So that's kind of the background part of it. What's also in front of you is an agreement between the DDA and Dr. Keeler, who is the owner of the property at 217 Knowles. That agreement was drafted by the city attorney and is here for your consideration. That agreement would basically grant permission for the DDA and its contractor to enter his property and construct the parking lot at that location. It's very similar to one that was used to do 4 spaces at the north end of his site or the property he owns right behind the new police station. So that's one agreement that's there. The second is a draft contract that engineering uses for contractors. As I said in the memo, I think the only revisions that are going to be necessary in that contract are replacing the word city with the word DDA, inserting the approved contractor, and then changing the signatory lines. But you'll see the resolution also is subject to any final revisions by the city attorney. I guess I'll stop there and see if there's any questions on any parts of that at this point.
Okay, real quick, Tim, just for clarification purposes, so the property in question is solely owned by the DDA?
No, the property in question is owned by Dr. Keeler.
Okay, so we're entering into, that's the agreement we're entering into with him.
Yes, the agreement is, the one agreement is him granting permission for this work to occur on his site. Dr. Keeler and his partners have been involved in this from the very beginning. Are very supportive of it from the standpoint of the 22 spaces that are on public land that are currently restricted to their use are constantly being used by visitors and others to the farmers market. And they've had a hard time policing people from using those spaces. So they're very much behind the project. They've been at the planning commission meetings. They've been at the city commission meetings and participating. I believe they may have even showed up at the original DDA meeting back in July of 2019, but I didn't go back and look if they were there, but I believe they were.
Okay, I have a couple hands up here with some questions. Yep. Director Riley, first.
Yeah, Tim, real quick, just a 2-part question. I got confused in reading it. First part of the question is the property inside of the DDA area? Because it got confusing in one part. And the second part is the contingency, is that just in there in case there's change orders so we don't have to bring it back to the board, sort of just kind of giving it a little cushion?
The answer to the first question, the property is not within the DDA boundary. It is adjacent to it. It's immediately adjacent to it. In reviewing this and going forward back when we started, because the benefit is to the district in freeing up those spaces, both the city attorney, or prior city attorney, and myself believe this is an appropriate action if the board chooses to proceed. You are gaining control of those 22 spots that are currently restricted. And I believe that's the conversation we had back when the DDA first considered this project and allocated the original funds. The second part, in terms of the contingency, it's to cover, I guess, 2 things. Any potential overruns and things that we didn't notice. If there's something in the ground that we've got to dig up and get out of the way, that's commonly occurring in a lot of these projects we're currently doing. And the second part is to cover some of the inspections and the other fees that are not totally related to the contractor's work. So they're soft costs, administrative costs.
Okay, I had Director Baglio next.
I'm going to recuse myself from this agenda item. I have a professional and personal relationship with Dr. Keeler through the years and don't feel comfortable acting on this item.
Thank you. Director Krieger.
I was gonna make a motion to move the resolution. A, it benefits the DDA by us getting those parking spaces. B, I like the idea of the contingency because I would not be surprised if you dig up an old basement or something there because like Tim said, you're gonna find that in these older neighborhoods. So I believe in contingencies. I like it and it's a benefit to us. So I'm moving the resolution.
Okay, I have a motion by Director Krieger,
Support.
supported by Director Riley. I just, for clarification purposes, Tim, one resolution is
There's
okay for
actually-
both parts of this?
There's actually two. The first one, the short one, is to approve the agreement with Mr. Keeler.
Right.
And that's about in the middle of the first
Oh, I see it.
memo. And then the second one is on the second page, and that's to actually award the contract subject to revisions and allocate the funds. So there's actually two resolutions in the.
Okay,
Can I
so
make
I'm
one
suggesting we take these one at a time. Director Krieger, would you like to?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I'll make a motion to approve the first resolution.
Okay. Second by Director Riley.
Yep. Second.
Questions first. Director Rosbeck.
So, just to clarify, because I think, Director Riley asked a nice question, so it added to my thoughts. By doing this work here, does this expand our footprint? And we gain?
No, it does not.
Okay,
It does not expand the DDA boundary. There's a total different process for that occurring.
But we do have control, correct?
We gain parking spaces by
Yeah.
doing this. We took
Yeah.
them away from that individual.
Yeah.
We're putting them back that we already committed to them on their property. So now we have control of those parking spaces.
Right, we're just not drawing the TIF off the land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else, Director Rosbeck? That you good with that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think Matt's comments are confusing me. So Matt, just to clarify, so you're saying we're going to, I don't know the right words for this. We're going to be a betterment of this property, and it betters the DDA, the DDA area because we're gaining parking spots, but we don't necessarily gain that property per se, or we don't have any, if something goes wrong with that property in the future, we don't have any, there's no liabilities on our end as the DDA.
No.
I
That's
just wanna
correct.
make-
The contractor is going to have their own warranties and insurance and everything else. We're just paying to have it done.
Because of its proximity to the DDA, we're gaining the parking. But if somebody tomorrow built a high rise on it, we wouldn't, our top line wouldn't go up.
Gotcha.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so I have a motion on the first portion of this. In a second, I'm going to call for the vote. Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Yesbeck,
Yes.
and Director Rosbeck.
Yes.
And I will vote yes, the motion passes. Okay, there is a second suggested resolution.
So I'll move the second resolution.
Motion by Director Krieger,
Support.
second again by Director Riley. Any discussion on this portion of it?
No, I actually think Tim put a good number in there. I think he padded it properly, so I like it. That makes sense.
Okay. Seeing no other comments, I'm going to call for the vote. Again, Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Yezbik,
Yes.
and Director Rossmick.
Yes.
And I will vote yes, and this motion passes. And we can bring Director Baglio back in. Okay, so moving on, item number 10, recommendation from CMC regarding social media.
I'll jump in real quick on that one. I think the whole 10 and 11 can be dealt with together as one.
Okay.
Item. I had listed it separately in case the Consumer Marketing Committee had addressed them separately, but they were really put together as a single item. So I think you can go down to this number 11 and we can deal with it there.
Okay, so we'll do 10 and 11 actually together. This would be the Skroove contract extension. I'm thinking that Sean might lead us on the first path here.
Well, I can, let me jump in because I put the cover memo on it.
Okay, I didn't know who wrote it, that's all.
Yeah, I did it so that we had something that kind of put to paper what the Consumer Marketing Committee talked about on Monday evening. And then I think the committee members can add their commentary on it. But real briefly, at the November 11th DDA meeting, the special meeting, the renewal of a contract with Skroove was brought up. The board got also into discussion of social media in general. And at the end of the meeting, both of those items were referred to the Consumer Marketing Committee to review them and bring back a recommendation to the board. As I said, the committee met on Monday the 16th and reviewed the proposals. It is the committee's recommendation that the DDA not enter into an ongoing month extended contract with Skroove. Instead, that the DDA deal with social media content on a project by project basis. The committee did feel that was the appropriate approach given the volume of the content already available. Also, they discussed the need for the content to hit particular targeted markets focused on specific demographics, specific purposes and issues. And they were also raised the issue of the ongoing monthly costs. The committee did also discuss whether it was an RFP to solicit proposals, but that's not really part of the recommendation. And I did indicate that at least one member of the committee felt differently. If the board does not want to renew a contract, there is no action necessary. If you do, you would have to adopt an appropriate resolution approving the contract. And the one that's in front of you or attached is one dated November 9th of 2020. I have seen some others floating around, but none of those were formally submitted or reviewed by the Consumer Marketing Committee. In addition to the discussion on Skroove in terms of social media, the committee is recommending that the DDA send Siren the 60-day cancellation notice for the current contract so that the committee can negotiate the terms of that contract to have it be more in line with where the board wants to go at this point. Or the committee's thoughts were not that it's a recommendation to get rid of Siren PR. It was just a recommendation to clear the decks of that contract and try and get one in place in the next 60 days that address their strengths in terms of public relations, and then also how you're dealing with social media. And then the last part of the social media, the committee part of that wanted to explore some other options, and they didn't have a real solid recommendation at this point. And we're hoping to bring one back probably at the January DDA meeting. So the only action item resolution that is in here from the DDA or from the Consumer Marketing Committee is a resolution to direct staff to send a cancellation notice to Siren PR. That's
Okay.
all I have. I don't know if the committee members want to add things or Sean wants to add something, but
I'm ready for some comments and suggestions here. What I would like to do though, this seems like a pretty big bundle here, and I'd like to kind of separate this out if we possibly could, if meeting the committee's approval. It seems to me the Skroove issue and the direction that the committee wants staff to take in terms of Siren should be dealt separately apart from each other. I understand the concept as being all as one, but the actions or any resolutions, I think should be separated at this time. So, however, the committee wants to start on this, that's fine. We'll go with the committee discussion and then have everybody bring their comments to the table. I see Director Rosbeck's hands.
Hi, yes, I don't know if Tony wants to go first since he can't see us as the lead of the committee.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, we had a good discussion regarding Skroove and social media in general, but with regard to Skroove, I guess there were some concerns or questions or suggestions, however you want to describe them, on how Skroove is operating, how they're creating the videos. I think we all agreed that Skroove is doing a good job, but there were certain issues like and I think former Chairman Dunstan hit on a few of them. It seemed like they were promoting a Skroove brand. It seemed like some of the videos had some repetitive elements to them. It seemed like they were targeting a specific demographic, and the content issue. It seems like we have a lot of content and we haven't been able, for whatever reason, to utilize all that content at this time. So my initial reaction to that is if we have some concerns with the manner in which Skroove is producing these things, my suggestion would be to have Skroove in for another Consumer Marketing Committee meeting and go over some of these concerns and try to or give them an opportunity to respond better to what we're looking for. I think there's some disagreement or some discussion on what exactly we are looking for. For example, the demographic. I know we've approved certain things in the past with radio, with TV ads, and going to certain demographics. I think indeed Skroove does address a more targeted demographic, that target being a younger demographic. But I think, this is the first time we're really seeking to hit that demographic. It's a very important demographic in light of the fact that there's a lot of bars and restaurants that make up the downtown engine here, and we can't ignore those altogether. I think we've made over the past several months a lot of effort to address some of the other demographics for retail and those types of things, as we should, and I think we've done it effectively. But we have to remember that the younger demographic is a very important demographic too. So I'm not offended that they're targeting that demographic with the style and type of video that they're producing, the type of content. just in my opinion, it's the type of content that really resonates with the public. It's utilizing the most popular mechanisms on social media, and I think it really connects to the people that we're trying to connect to. It's my understanding that since they've been generating these videos, that our social media, our Twitter, Instagram, our followers have increased exponentially, and I think that's a very good sign. There was some comment that there's no really detailed way or exact way to quantify the value that they've brought to us, but I think that certainly is a good indicator that they're doing something. As far as the content goes, again, my limited understanding of this stuff is, I guess, two things. It's our fault to some extent that we're not utilizing the content that they're generating. If they're generating more content, which I believe they are, than they're even contracted to do, it's our opportunity to utilize that content for our benefit. I mean, I don't think we should, react negatively to the fact that we have so much content. And my other, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my other feeling about content is it's got to be in real time. Something exciting that was happening in the summer, it may still be there as content, but it's not going to do much good for us, next week. It has to be real time. So the content that was generated that we haven't utilized for whatever reason, and I think that's part of the social media discussion that we also have to have. How do we improve that? That's just content that we can't use. Maybe next summer we can use it, but going into this, we have a special set of circumstances here with not only the holidays coming upon us, but these latest challenges with the COVID. We have specific things that I think we really need somebody consistent that's steady and available to us so that we can address these issues as we're going to discuss. We don't really have a solid social media person or persons to handle the social media right now. Sean is kind of overwhelmed and needs assistance. I think that's clear in that regard. And Siren, their expertise is not really that. We have to, we're going to renegotiate their contract to focus on the things that they're very good at or expert at. So to me, it's even more important to have somebody to turn to, such as a Skroove, to help Sean and to help us navigate through these tough times. They've even offered to, with our transitioning to somebody for social media, they even offered to help as part, with no extra charges or anything like that, to help our transition. So I guess I agree with former Chairman Dunstan. There's a lot of positives. I don't see many negatives for extending Skroove's contract. And that was, my part of the discussion at the Consumer Marketing Committee level. And I invite the other committee members to go ahead and add to that.
Thank you.
Please don't tell me I was muted during that.
What?
No,
Didn't hear
okay.
you.
I'm looking at hands here. I see Director Riley.
Yeah, I'm going to apologize in advance, but I've got a lot to say on this because there's a lot that's been going on in this area. The first thing I want to bring up is that when we brought Skroove in and they came in through the Business Marketing Committee, right, wrong, or indifferent, one of the reasons we brought them in was because of the demographic they could bring us. We wanted to increase our Instagram presence. We wanted to increase our presence with millennials and Gen Z. We wanted to increase our...
Oh, I think we did lose Matt.
We had, damn it. All right, am I back?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Good now.
we wanted to improve our presence with Gen Z and with millennials. In fact, if you look at what we've done, I think we've done a really nice job with the strategy. You know, we went to the Drew and Mike podcast, and then we said, okay, well, that's the 35, that gets us to 35, 55 male demographics. So then the CMC took it and went, and we partnered with WNIC and KQI with Mojo in the Morning to get the female demographic kind of in that same age range. I'm not saying that they should stay in this demographic. They'll go where we tell them, okay? Now, one thing I'll say is I'm not sure why they're not in this meeting, and I know they weren't in the consumer marketing meeting either. That being said, they have increased our following on Instagram, like Tony said, exponentially. They also post their videos and everything they shoot on their pages to their over 2,000 followers. What the Consumer Marketing Committee is suggesting, that we piecemeal this thing out, man, I say wrong time, wrong place for all of that, for numerous reasons. If you're going to piecemeal everything out and go out for RFPs, we're looking at getting nothing new out there till January or February at the soonest. If you piecemealed everything that Skroove did and they went to different sources, you don't have any continuity, which you guys have all told me is one of the keys to social media, is, you know, getting traction and building traction. And you're going to bring it, you know, you got to bring it to different committees. You got to bring it back to the DDA. It's going to be months at a time. And it's going to be more costly when it comes in piecemeal versus a contract. Most importantly with that, you can't react on a dime. And man, if we know one thing about what's going on right now, things change day by day. In fact, at 12:01 this morning, we had a big change. With that being said, Skroove has pivoted completely and came up with a emergency social media strategy, which was, I believe you guys have seen this at the CMC meeting, where they want to go with a video on the gift cards, a video on outdoor dining, a video on restaurant takeout, a video on right impressions, and then end up right up to Christmas with a video on toyology for last minute Christmas shopping. On top of that, they've offered, because Siren has worked with them, and you know, I don't understand any of this stuff with social media in terms of how do you post it and how you do it and what's the best way to do it. Siren has said nothing but good things about their help in that regard. And they have offered to, I don't want to say hold our hand, but to help us in the interim as the consumer marketing vets different ways of going about and getting a full, whether it's a full-time or a part-time social media person, whether it's an assistant to Sean, whether it's a new different group. But in the interim, they agreed to help us and to post at no charge. They also came up, you know, they came up with their original social media calendar, which I thought was pretty complete, where something, either a photo or a video, was going out every day. The fact that we have a backlog of content, to punish these guys for that is almost criminal in my book. The reason that we have a backlog of content is because Siren wasn't posting as they were supposed to right out of the box. They were supposed to. We were doing 4 videos a month. They were supposed to post 1 a week. For some reason, they held them back. So we have a backlog. But like former Chairman Dunstan said, all that's out the window now. Now we've got to pivot to what are we going to do in the next 3 to 4 weeks with the restaurants and bars shut down? What are we going to do in a nice way without pushing too hard, getting people to come to our retail shops, shop socially distant, to use the gift cards. By the way, I hope and expect that retail is going to get a boon in the gift card end of things right now, because restaurants, you know, you can't dine in and there's not going to be that much drinking, obviously. On top of which, we're getting competition, guys. Ferndale has picked up the IFTI program. The Chamber of Commerce is going to be doing some stuff with it. Everyone's going after the same idea and the same group of people right now. Now is not the time, in my book, to go dark. I think these guys have, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, this is working. These guys have done all that they said they were going to do and more, and they've delivered. And they've created more content than they were contractually obligated to do. And in my opinion, they've been incredible teammates. And with that said, I would move to approve their contract for a year.
Okay. Well, I have a motion by Director Riley.
I'll second it.
Second by Director Krieger. So we are on discussion right now. I know I first saw Director Rosbeck's hand. You're muted, Director Rosbeck.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
I'm gonna say I'm kind of surprised at the public comment and at Director Riley's estimation of what happened at the CMC meeting, because he was not there, but I don't think any of this came out as being a punishment to Skroove. I think what we all agree with is that Skroove did a good job and that Skroove did what we needed them to do. And that we do agree that better direction and better projects or basis for projects would be really good to allow Skroove to do their job better. I think what's happening, and it's kind of evident to me because half the things you've said, Director Riley, I have not heard of. I didn't hear about this emergency media plan or the social media
Can
that's
I just ask,
together.
Director Yazbek, wasn't that included in the agenda packet? I mean, didn't you guys have that info?
I thought Sean sent it out, you know, maybe right before the meeting, Sean.
So, I sent it on November 16th at 1:15 p.m. to all
Okay,
the
so
committees.
this-
Okay, that's regardless. Let's let Director Rosbeck finish her comments, please.
So, I'm not moving to get rid of Skroove. I guess I am looking at this as we think that they do create some content and some compelling content, but we aren't publishing it fast enough. We don't have the wherewithal to publish. We have a lot of content, over 600 pictures that apparently we haven't used, but 6 of them or something like that. So with that said, all we were suggesting is that we do not have to enter into a full year contract with Skroove. We can work on a per project basis. That per project basis could be a 3-month project, and really give them, direction, what we want as output, and hit the different demographics if we wanted to. I think we just need to work with them more, and we have not, as a committee, worked with Skroove. That's all that's where this discussion went.
Thank you, Director Rosbeck. That's good clarification. Thank you. I next saw Director London's hand.
Get used to my laptop. So I agree with Director Rosbeck, what she said. We all like Skroove, but I felt personally, to me, it's a repetitive message. So you don't realize the place they're at, bar, restaurant, hair salon, because it's all the same. And we had input from, I don't know how to direct, is it Director Blake, that the city commission was concerned about it being no change in demographics, as far as it's the same people doing the same bit over and over. So we were looking to change that a bit. And everyone here said, from Matt to Tony, that they increased our social media exponentially. That is not true. We asked that specifically of Sean, and Sean said that's very hard to measure, and you really can't say that is true. Because I asked specifically, has any of the retail stores, hair salons, or bars noticed a difference after they featured their business, if they had increase in business? And there was no verification that happened to anyone. So that's what we're looking for, more information. If you were featured, did you see an uptick in business? Did your phone ring? Has our social media grown since they've taken on, more people following us? That's not true. So we're just asking more questions. And then my overall point, we might have 2 big points. A, it's the same message over and over. There's no change in their shtick. Their shtick is the same. So you don't know, they just blur together, whether they're at a bar, restaurant, hair salon. But my second thing, it's extremely expensive. They get paid more, and I don't mean to offend anyone here, they get paid more than most people on this committee for their side job, because they have other clients. It's paid a lot of money. And that's the most concerning thing to me, that they're getting paid $80,000 a year for videos a month. That's all I have to say. But we
Thank
all
you,
like
Director.
You can't
Thank
really
you,
gauge
Director
what
London.
they're getting paid.
Hang on, let's go with, I had Director Baglio next.
I think I want to kind of dial it back. Our committee conversation was about social media overall, not about Skroove. Skroove was the impetus for the conversation, but our committee is charged with our social media in general, and we have a lot of hands in the pot. When the statement is made that we have an overabundance of content, that content does not just come from Skroove. We also have all of the factory content that we have not used yet. So we determined that we have a little bit of time with content to tap the brakes for a moment and kind of figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to move forward. We want to retool the contract with Siren. We talked about getting Sean an intern or possibly an assistant to Judy Davids that works in tandem with Sean. We haven't ironed out the details of that yet. We hope to discuss that at our December meeting and figure out how we can disseminate all of this content that we have, and then do an RFP that will allow us to take a peek at what other people have to offer in terms of content and how much it costs. Since our committee never had the ability to review what Skroove was going to do with us, give them any direction, or judge if it was a good value for our committee. By doing an RFP, we can get a peek into what other companies have to offer, maybe make some sort of a contest out of it. This can be done and turned around relatively quickly, and Skroove can participate in that RFP. None of us thought that we would exclude them from participating in this. And the other big piece that I want to introduce here, when you say that Skroove has 2,000 followers, that's not a lot of followers on Instagram. My store has more than that. And the piece that we're all forgetting here is every one of us as entrepreneurs here in the city of Royal Oak has our own responsibility for our own social media. The city cannot be relied on to get everybody's message across. We can produce our own content and tag the city's pages to get it out. It's up to all of us to do it ourselves. I feel like the Skroove item has really grown into this giant focal point when it doesn't really need to be. Absolutely, they can participate in an RFP going forward, but I don't think that decision needs to be made today and block other talent from possibly helping us out in the future.
Thank you. Okay. I see Director Riley's hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some of what both both Director Baglio and Director Lyon said. Director Baglio, as far as the RFP process, it's we know that's not a quick process. I mean, you've got to, this RFP has to be written. It's got to be out there for 30 days. You guys have to meet with people. You've got to vet people. You've got to bring it back to the committee. You're basically looking at going dark until January or February. Okay, that's number one. Number two, again, I'll go back to the point that everybody, I have not heard one negative thing outside of Lori saying that the videos all look the same. And I would, you know, I'll politely disagree with her on that. I mean, they announce where they are. They're always at different places. They talk to the owners. They engage. I think, you know, I think they do a nice job. You're shaking your head no, but I don't know. Then we're watching different videos.
Again, we're missing.
As far as I'm saying, as far as you're saying, they're not publishing it fast enough. That wasn't their fault. They weren't in charge of posting. Okay.
Yeah, you're missing the point.
Hold on, Director Baglio. Director Baglio, I'll come to you next.
I'm not missing the point. And then as far as it being extremely expensive, I went to people who are in this business, who create production videos, okay? And to put 4 videos out a month for $8,000 and some odd dollars, let alone the photos. And yeah, we haven't used a lot of the photos, but again, that wasn't their fault. I mean, I don't think if any of our businesses wanted to bring in a production crew and do a 1 or 1.5 minute video on our place and create all the photos, I think it would cost us a lot more than $2,000. If I'm wrong, I mean, I just don't think so. Furthermore, I've looked at testimonials. I've not heard anything bad, again, outside of this committee, outside of the Consumer Marketing Committee. I've seen testimonies from Rock on Third, Desert Oasis, Citizen Yoga, W Barber Salon, Namaste Yoga, Dapper House, Rail and Anchor, all just saying these guys did a great job and that they're helping the downtown and things are going well. And from what I've heard on the Instagram, by the way, I got this from Siren. I'm sorry that the Instagram has improved tremendously. Okay, that's what Siren said. I don't know whether your individual Instagrams have. The Downtown Royal Oak Instagram has. So that's what I was saying by that. And again, I do agree that they should communicate more with your committee. I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they were the ones who forced through and put in a social media calendar, and it was available. I'm not sure if everybody saw it. I know I saw it, that they had a monthly calendar well in advance that showed where they were going to post videos and where they're going to post. But again, Siren was doing the posting. Okay. So again, I just think a nice, neat package is we approve them. And I don't think it's fair to do them on a month-to-month basis. We've all run businesses. Okay. They're a production business. They need to hire people. They need to have people involved and to go month to month and you're creating content. We gave them a 6-month contract to try them out. They succeeded. They deserve a 12-month contract, in my opinion. And I just think it's, you guys have taught me more about social media than I know. And I'm not a social media expert, but the one thing that I've heard loud and clear is you need consistency, you need to pound the message, and you need to build following.
Okay, I'm going to take a couple more comments. Director Baglio, did you want to?
I'm going to defer to the rest of the.
And then I'm going to call for the vote here in a minute. Director Brake.
Okay. I want to make a statement that Skroove does very good work. However, I'm supporting the recommendations of the committee. So I will be voting against the motion, not because of disapproval of Skroove, but I'm a believer in the committee system. I think that what they have presented is very thoughtful. This is part of democracy. So we're making some good arguments. This is a good, healthy discussion. But in light of what has occurred as of midnight, we're in an entirely different situation than we were 1 week ago.
Yep.
So we need to rethink this. Part of the message is that if we're driving people for indoor dining, that doesn't exist. So I know this is frustrating, but I believe in the committee system and concur with Director Rosbeck in London of what they're presenting their views on that. So I just want to go on record and nothing against Skroove.
No, thank you, Director Brake. Okay, I'm going to take 2 more comments here, Director Rosbeck and then Director Krieger.
I was just going to say, Director Riley, you're right. It's about frequency and being able, we're going to be on social media, we've got to be on social media. I think what we're all is, as Director Baglio pointed out, our main discussion is about social media, and we don't have the foundational tools to do what we have with the content that we've already paid for. So we really need to do that. And it's not, again, our discussion is not to take away from any of the vendors we've used or partners that we've done business with. This is just trying to be present and doing it the right way.
Okay, Director Krieger.
So I guess, my question is, why couldn't why couldn't we maybe perhaps alter their contract for 6 months, right? My concern is this, and I'm thinking of this, you know, as a business owner, you know, we got some bad news that things are shutting down. I know that some people call it pausing. It's not pausing. Things are being shut down. And if we have something in action right now that's affecting social media, that's keeping things out there, we have to keep it going. You can't stop it. When I hear an RFP is going to be issued, that creates time and money. And it's time and money that we can lock them in on something for a certain amount of time. And my understanding is that we can tell them, hey, change the demographic. We can kind of pivot. We can do things actively with them. And again, if I were king and I was my company, I would say, listen, we have the dough, we have the money. We're not doing events, right? I would say keep our social media going as much as possible right now, period. And then we can layer on things as we go. To stop it, to me, it would be death.
Jason,
You know, if you're not,
we're not proposing stopping social media. We have enough content to last us for 2 months.
No, you don't. No, you no,
Hold
you
on, hold on. Okay, one at a time.
You're in a COVID situation.
so let me
Hold on.
just finish. Let me just finish what I was saying. This is what
Director
my
Director Krieger has the floor right
this is
now.
this is what my understanding is. Okay, is that this would pause things. So I heard RFPs starting next month. That's what I heard. So that concerns me. That's why I voted to keep them going. Because again, guys, and I'm not being frivolous with our money. I've always been very, you know, stringent with our money, but we have it to keep it going, and then we can layer things on top of it. It's like all you hear on the news is like the restaurant associations are suing the state, but we all know it. Businesses are hurting, and I'm just trying to help. And I'm worried that we're not seeing the forest through the trees. So that's why I was supporting it. So
Okay.
but again, I could be convinced otherwise, you know?
So we are not pausing them. We are just stating we don't need to go into a 12-month agreement with them. We could do this on a rolling basis. It's not stopping this.
Well, yeah, I appreciate your clarification, Director Rosbeck, but that sounds a little bit different than the recommendation that was put forth.
It is not different than the recommendation.
Director Riley.
Yeah, a couple things real fast.
Yeah, real quick, because I want to call for the vote here, please.
Okay, we'll just
Go ahead.
in terms of getting the content out and getting it posted, okay? And I do agree with Director Baglio that we do need to get somebody, and we need to clean up our house. And part of that is the Business Marketing Committee's fault, because we were reacting under COVID and we just went in a couple different directions. We got Simon involved in posting stuff because we didn't have anybody. And we knew we'd get to a point where we'd clean stuff up, and we're almost there. That being said, I'll say it one more time. Skroove has offered to post the content in the interim if needed. Okay, that being said, they've also come up with like a social media outline. I'm looking at like a 3-page outline here to help us with regard to that. So let me ask this. Would the committee have a taste at all for maybe a 3-month contract to get us through February? And then give you guys the time to meet with them, do what you need to do, and vet them out, get social media people involved, get their free help with regard to social media, maybe implement some of their emergency plans so that tomorrow, when, you know, people aren't or today, I'm sorry, it was today, wasn't it? I lost track of days, I apologize. People aren't coming into restaurants. We have ways to keep it going.
Split the baby. And if they're in contract, then they're at our beck and call, so to speak.
Yep. They work for us.
Yes.
Okay. Director Vega, I'll let you go. Go ahead.
I mean, I want to like just answer. I'm really not trying to rock the boat. However, the committee did come up with a plan at our meeting to move forward in terms of acquiring someone to post the content. I really feel strongly to allow the committee members to carry on in this vein and do what we've been charged to do. Again, my business is one of the businesses that's been shut down. I do not feel the sense of urgency that Matt and some of the other folks on this board feel. Social media will continue. My social media will continue. There's this sense of urgency that we have to decide the Skroove contract right now is beyond my comprehension. Allow our committee to do what we've set out to do. We've got
really, Gary, and this is what the utmost, it's a compliment and respect to you. You're a master at that stuff, man. A lot of people aren't. And I think the whole point is to have these people out there doing it for them. I mean, and maybe it's because I'm not exactly in your line of work, but you're giving one entity way too much power over business in this community. You can't, I mean, yes, having an overall message for the city is great, but to give one group of people the power to promote my business, I'm not willing to do that. I think that the Consumer Marketing Committee has some great talent on it. All of us have great background, and we had a robust discussion the other day, and we put forth a really, really good plan. I don't see what the urgency this Skroove contract is causing. They could effectively get another contract after we've done our due diligence, but allow us to do that.
Chairman Safaya?
Yes.
Yes, I just, I understand what's being said here on both sides. I love the suggestion of Director Krieger to allow the Consumer Marketing Committee to do whatever we wish to do, but in the meantime, approve this interim contract with Skroove. I equate it to, it's not like an overall big picture, here's our marketing strategy that we're going to proceed with. To me, I equate it to what we've done for businesses this whole time with the grant program, with the downtown dollars, with everything that we've done to try to help businesses survive. Businesses are not surviving right now, and any assistance that we as the DDA can render. I know I have 2 businesses in the downtown, and it's a problem right now. So anything that Skroove or anybody else can do to help get a message out there that, hey, we're doing carry out now, or anything, it couldn't be more critical right now, the timing. I mean, businesses are going away forever. In some instances, it's very sad. So I do see the urgency, and I see absolutely no downside if we wanted to, modify our motion, make it a 3-month interim contract, and then the Consumer Marketing Committee can pull it back and either talk to Skroove. If you wanted to proceed with an RFP, we could do it. We can do anything we want.
Just take it to the spring. Take it to the spring, and then reevaluate it, man. I mean, and then you can still.
Okay, we've got a lot of comments here, and I still got a lot of people that want to participate, but we need to move on here. Director Brake, did you want to add something?
Yeah. Listen, we have a motion on the floor. Vote it up or down.
Yeah, I was just here's my thought. Here's my thought process, and I think it's where Director Brake's heading us here. We do have a motion on the floor, so let's deal with the motion at this point. If we don't reach a conclusion on this motion, then we will have the ability for somebody else to make another motion or an amended motion or more action beyond this. Okay. So at that being said, I'm going to call for the vote on this motion. And just to be clear for everybody, the motion that is on the table is to approve the contract for another 1-year period. Is that clear to everybody what the motion is? Okay, we have a motion and a second. So I'm going to, at this time, I'm going to make a roll call vote. I'm going down the list here. Director Krieger?
Yes.
Director London?
No.
Director Baglio?
No.
Director Riley? Director Riley?
He's frozen.
Yeah, yes.
Frozen
Am I
again.
freezing?
There he is.
That's okay. That's all right. Okay. Director
Yeah.
Brake,
No.
Director Yesbeck,
Yes.
Director Rossbeck,
No,
and that leaves me, and I will vote yes. So we have 4 in favor and 4 against.
So what do we do? Do we fight?
No, we,
How do you
at this time, we don't have an approval to approve the contract. So we are at the status quo right now, unless somebody wants to make an additional motion or different than what was previously on the floor. I have a number of hands here, so I'm not sure where we're gonna go with this. I'll go with Director Baglio first, and then I will give everybody a chance to comment here. Director Baglio, you have the floor.
I'd like to make a motion that the board allow the Consumer Marketing Committee to continue in the vein with the proposal that they, down the path that we've formulated in our last meeting, and allow us to vet Skroove and other social media content providers, as well as modify the contract with Siren, and also investigate looking for some assistance in social media help for Sean.
That's a very complex motion there.
Pretty much encompasses everything that we talked about.
I get it, but some of it is not
Is that
conclusive as to
basically
what
the
exactly
motion
you're
that's up
trying
there?
to, you're saying, you're making a recommendation that's saying, we're gonna vote to approve you guys to, the committee to keep doing what they've been doing.
Well,
That doesn't work for me.
there's a resolution on the agenda that we advise staff to give Siren on notice, a 2-month notice to renegotiate their contract. That's number 1.
so can we finish the Skroove conversation first
That-
and then go
That's
to
what I was hoping
Siren?
to do, if we could do that also. But Director Baglio has the ability, he's made a motion.
Okay,
I don't, but so is the motion, I don't understand, is it?
I'm
Gary,
not,
is it following
you're gonna
the-
have to restate the motion,
I
Director
withdraw
Baglio,
the
because,
motion.
I'm sorry,
I withdraw the motion.
okay. Director Rossbeck,
I'd like to make a motion that we continue with Skroove for a 3-month contract or an extension of 3 months at their current rate until such time that the Consumer Marketing Committee can formulate a better social media proposal to this board.
thank you, Director Rossbeck. I have a motion on the table. Director Brake?
What?
You support that, okay. So I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion regarding this motion? Very quickly, yes, Dr. Riley, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put this to Director Brake, Tim, and Sean. And I just wondered, when somebody has submitted a contract at a rate, can we go back to them? In other words, we're negotiating without them in the room, and it just seems untoward to me. I mean, I'm going to support giving them 3 months, but I don't know that they've come to us at a slightly increased rate, and we're saying no, we'll give it to you at the old rate, and they're not here.
Well, I'll speak for myself, and then Mr. Brake can speak. I've been in numerous negotiations, and a lot of times you don't have the other party as part of a contract. They may submit a proposal to you, and you absolutely have a right to counter that proposal. There's nothing wrong with countering a proposal, and they have the option to either accept it or reject it.
All right.
Any comments, Director Brake?
I would concur with Mr. Twing. I'll put it even more succinctly. We are the client.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Thank you very much. Okay. So as it stands right now, I have a motion on the table and I have a second.
Do it.
If there's no further discussion, I would love to call for the vote. And I will do so right now. Director Rossbeck,
Yes.
Director Yazbek,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Baglio,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
Director Krieger.
This is like Christmas lights all over again. Yes.
Don't even mention Christmas lights.
And I will also vote yes, and that motion does pass.
All right.
Okay, so we have the standing orders. I think the committee is clear on the direction that they want to go and what needs to be done. We're going to deal with the second portion of this right now.
Second.
Can I make that motion?
You may.
So I'd like to make a motion that we give Siren a 60-day notice to renegotiate their, a 60-day notice to cancel their current contract, and in hopes of renegotiating based on the consumer marketing committee's recommendations to focus their contract towards what they're good at.
Okay, so I do have a motion on the table from Director Rosbeck. Director Baglio,
Second.
you second that motion. Okay, this would be the time for discussion on that.
I just have one quick question.
Sure.
So just so to clarify, what we're saying is we're technically nobody has the taste to cancel their contract. We just want to get them back to sort of where they were when we started with them pre-COVID in terms of them taking on other responsibilities, particularly with social media. Is that correct?
Actually, I'm glad you said that. Can I clarify that just a second? What the committee discussed about with Siren was when we brought them on, we had some really bad PR going on with the whole parking situation and all kinds of construction issues and nasty stuff. They got us through that, and they got us all on the same page with the same talking points successfully. We've achieved that goal. So now the Consumer Marketing Committee feels that it's time to kind of revisit and refocus what their new charge should be.
Okay.
Okay.
So they were very successful.
In terms of direction.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification, Director Baglio. Okay. If there's no other discussion, I'd like to call for this vote, please. Okay. Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
Director Baglio,
Yes.
Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Yazbek,
Yes.
Director Rosbeck,
Yes.
and I will vote yes also, and that motion passes. Okay. Tim, any other business and or reports?
Not from me.
Let me check with Sean first, and then I will come to you to the table.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just two brief things. I just want to say we've been watching the Yifty gift cards go out and be redeemed, and I just want to say that since the relaunch here last week, I'm finding that there's no strange anomalies going on with the purchases or the redemptions. Things seem to be going very well. They seem to be being purchased by residents and patrons and customers, and they seem to be spent at a variety of different locations in different amounts. And I have been talking to Yifty about it. They've been watching it as well, and it's just a wildly popular program, and I just wanted to report that it appears to be moving along very successfully. Secondly, and the last thing that I have is that since the shutdown starting today, Siren and I had a conversation on Monday and then again yesterday morning at 10 a.m. to kind of talk about our advertising and how that stands. We've been getting a lot of social media feedback, and Siren, being our public relations firm, actually advised us to start trying to handle that. We've been getting a lot of comments on the Royal Open campaign and the ads on social media. So I have reached out to our advertising partners. I've reached out to Outfront Media, and in areas where we can change our creative, I'm looking at doing that just temporarily to push curbside service and carryouts. Areas where we can't change up the creative, we're pausing. So I've contacted all of our advertising outlets so far, and we're currently underway of doing that. We have so many different advertising outlets. We're trying to kind of turn an ocean liner. So we're not exactly, it's not going to be done today, unfortunately, but we're hoping that it'll be completed by Friday.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks for that
and
information.
I did reach out to Mark Lance to see if he could just change some copy on a couple of the creative items, and they're going to be working on that, and they're going to get back to me on Friday with some completed assets. So,
Thank you. I saw Director Riley's hand first. I got a couple more after that.
I've got other business. I've got something to bring to the table, and I think.
Can I make a comment on
Yeah,
the gift
let me
card?
finish on this discussion first. I'll come back to you, Director Riley. Director Rosbeck.
Yeah, so just to clarify, Sean, people are reacting to the relaunch of the gift cards, but I think people are confused that there's a comment in the in the Facebook post, especially, it says buy a $50 card, get 75. It's almost like too much math for them to figure out. So I think we need to simplify that to say, buy a $50 gift card, you get $25 bonus up to 300, because people are thinking when they go into their email, they're going to get a $75 card. And I've had to clarify that to some of my friends.
I've gotten a couple comments like that, but the vast majority of the comments that we've gotten back are more questioning about what happened to the 100% match. That's the major source of the questions that we're receiving. I want to say the day that we launched, my phone was blowing up, my email was blowing up with questions all day. That's how I spent Friday, just answering that question. And it slowed down over the weekend. I want to say as of Monday moving forward, I haven't received that question. But yeah, I do agree. We occasionally do get some questions about how the match works, and we kind of field those as they come. If there's additional clarification that needs to be done, I'll make sure to make a post just to clarify.
Yeah, I just think people think they're going to get one card with all of it together, and it, if you do additional posts, I think that would be a good clarifier.
Yeah, we do have that on the Visit Royal Oak site about how we mention a separate card, and then when you go to the YIFTY site, we think that's pretty clear. But if it needs additional clarification, I'm happy to post additional information.
Okay, Director Baglio.
I just want to make a comment, and Tim and Director Break, if you could pass this along to DPS. The new LED lights give the downtown an unbelievably bright and wonderful new personality. It in a time when we really need it, it looks great down here. Pass that along for me.
Thank you, Director Baglio. Director Riley.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, guys, this is on the gift card subject. Sorry that there is some confusion there, but I think I'm going to make this quick. But something has come my way that was presented to me that I think is a great opportunity for us. But it's going to require action today. Real quick, this comes from Royal Oak Schools Foundation, from Deb Anderson and Scott Brown. I guess Scott is the president of the foundation. They are coming to us. They want to do something special for 666 of their employees that incorporates 348 teachers, 41 professional staff, 108 paraprofessionals, 32 building secretaries, 55 custodial and maintenance, 19 bus drivers, 38 food service, and 25 central office staff. They would like to thank everybody for all their hard work during these COVID times, and they'd also like to help out their community being us. So what they're asking is if they could get a gift card for each of these 666 employees. And if we would provide a 50% match. What we've talked about doing is they would purchase 666 $20 gift cards that would actually become $30 gift cards. And not to be confusing, I've already talked to Sean to see if this is possible and if we can do this quickly. And yes, it is, where we could basically, we would put a PDF together of 666 gift cards and send it to Royal Oak Schools Foundation. They would print them all off and individually put them in a card with a nice note to their people. saying this is from the school system with a match from the DDA. They would contribute 2/3 of the money, that being 19,980. What I'm asking you guys, and I'm hoping you're up for it, is if we are up for, and I'm not talking about pulling this out of the IFTI account, this is just a whole new item for $6,660. We'd be able to put, I'm sorry, their coverage would be 13,320. We would be able to put 666 people on the street, each holding a $30 gift card to Royal Oak. As I said to Sean, this is like my and his dream of this gift card program where people buy one, have one, and in that case, they tend to spend over. So this is something that's up there. The ask on what I'm asking is that we would approve $6,660, one-time purchase of almost $20,000 in cards. Again, 666 $30 cards that would go to all 666 employees in the Royal Oak School District.
Okay, so I'm sure there's a couple questions here. I would say, I think that this is a fantastic idea. I'm hoping that the DDA will support this in some way, shape, or form. I think it's well worth it. Director Brake will tell you that the city works very closely with the school district in many different areas. And I think this would be something great for the downtown to get involved in. So I'm hoping that we can figure something out here. I love this idea. Director Baglio. You're muted, Director Baglio.
I'm in support of this as long as Director Brake and Tim Twing let us know that it's legal to do within the TIF system.
Well, I'm assuming gift cards are good for downtown businesses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for outside.
All for it then.
And it's a nonprofit, so.
Okay, so
Is there a motion?
Director Riley, would you like to make a motion, please?
I would like to make a motion that the
DDA approves this X amount of dollar, please.
$6,660, if my math's correct. Is that?
I second.
Oh, I'm sorry, and the fees.
So you want to run $7 grand?
Yeah, let's call it around 7,000. Shit.
Maybe more than that. I agree. I second.
Are you okay with that, Director Osbeck? Okay, thank you very much for your second. Director Baglio,
I wanted
did you
to
have a
second.
comment?
No,
Huh?
I wanted a second.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, any comments from anybody?
I'm doing the math real fast on the fees. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, I think you've got them covered in the motion.
Yeah, if we cover them, then it'll just get distributed accordingly. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus the fees. Yeah.
Okay,
Is that okay? Is that okay if I make the motion that way? $6,660 plus all fees associated?
Works for me.
Okay.
works for him, okay. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Okay, roll call vote, please. Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Yesbeck,
Yes.
Director Rospick,
Yes.
Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
Director Baglio,
Yes.
and I will vote yes, and that motion passes. Does anybody have anything else for business for the DDA today? Director Rospick.
I think I mentioned this to Sean, but I do think it's worth looking into. As we've talked about, we have a bit of a pause or shutdown for our bars and restaurants and even retail. Not retail, retail's open. Is there any way to convert some of those great ideas about Ubering into downtown to Uber Eats and paying for delivery costs that come from downtown restaurants and bars? So just thought out, I don't know if it's possible to even do that or if Uber Eats knows how to do that, but just a idea to get, carry out moving for some of our downtown locations.
Okay, maybe Sean, you can just look into it briefly.
I already did, actually. I reached out to Uber and they can't amend the existing agreement that we currently have right now. That's kind of set in stone. We would have to do a new agreement that would be separate for Uber Eats, but we can definitely subsidize it. It's definitely something that's within the realm of possibility. I can schedule a meeting to get more information if it's desired.
I think it'd be great if you did. Absolutely.
Okay. Why don't you look into that, Sean, and let us know when you have something, some sort of recommendation.
Certainly.
Thank you. Any other business? Seeing none, I'm going to look to Director Krieger.
Motion to adjourn.
A motion by Director Krieger.
Second.
Director Baglio?
Second.
Thank you.
Where'd
I
you
think you
all
were
at? That's fine.
I was
No
just
big
trying to
deal.
keep you awake.
I'm sounding a lot like Director Rosbach.
I was just trying to keep you awake there. Caught you off guard. Okay, so I have a second by Director Baglio. No discussion regarding this? Okay, roll call vote. Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director Baglio,
Yes.
Director London,
Yes.
Director Riley,
Yes.
Director Brake,
Yes.
Director Yesbeck,
Yes.
Director Rosbeck,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. The motion passes and we are officially adjourned. Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone.